A loaf of bread costs 50% more today than it did before the pandemic. And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food. I'll lower the cost of insulin and prescription drugs for everyone with your support, not only our seniors. There's a serious housing shortage. In many places, it's too difficult to build, and it's driving prices up. We will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class. My administration will provide first-time home buyers with $25,000 to help with the down payment on a new home.
Okay, let's start out. Anybody agree, disagree? Go ahead, Cam. I saw you unmute.
It just looks like a setup for another housing crash, a setup to keep us poor. And I don't think they understand that, because it's like they're trying to help you with this idea of getting a home and, you know, completing this American dream. But a house is dead if you're just living in it. And, you know, most of them don't have the income really to sustain a house like that. So it just seems like a trap. But knowing that people want homes and stability and things like that, I think it's like an easy way, you know, to sell them.
All right. Anybody else? Don't be scared to talk, man.
Honestly, I think it's given Richard Nixon, 1971. He made the same speech. In the 1970s, they had the same situation going on. Pretty communistic to me. It was a bunch of shortages. People better look back and see what happened in the 1970s during Richard Nixon's term.
You know, Anton already getting excited.
Don't be scared to talk, y'all. Go ahead.
Don't worry about me. I'm chilling.
I'm trying to figure out where she's going to get the money for all that she's trying to do. So that's kind of been my...
She already told us. She said it's going to pay for itself.
Sounds like it's like she's going to be taking money from the middle class, but it's disguised that, because we know that the rich ain't paying for it. Like, we can just...
But that's her plan, actually, is to tax the 0.01%, like the top elite rich. That's her plan.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I just think, like, to Cam's point, if these people can't afford a house now, you're going to give them this money to move into a house that they couldn't afford previously. How are they going to keep the house once they get it? Like, they can't afford it. Like, it's just, to me, it is just increasing their debt unnecessarily.
Braxton?
Yeah, I mean, overall, my point of view of it is, I think they know it's stupid, but the people they believe they're telling it to is just going to go past their brain as far as economic understanding, and that they're just going to jump over the money and not actually understand the second and third order effects of it. So it's like one side is like, I think she's stupid, but is she really stupid? And then it's like, are they just saying it just to say it, and then it's never going to actually go through?
What do you think?
Well, I think she's probably really smart, because she's placating to the stupid black people who want money thrown at their free money thrown at their face, i.e., $25,000 down payment on the house. So she's actually pretty smart, because she knows someone's going to listen. Sounds like a Stuco vibes, you know, when student council president, you said we're going to put TVs in your locker and subwoofers, and then the president, and don't shit happen kind of vibes. That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, obviously, as the eyeball out, I definitely support it, because there are people that want to have home ownership, but they may be bogged down by student loans. They have a good income, but because of credit issues of that extra debt on there when it comes to their student loans, I think it puts a hold on them having the ability to have some sort of down payment to get a house. I believe that home ownership should be an eventual goal that we have as individuals, because you want to own something. and I would want to own a house, you could pass it down to family legacy, or it could be rental property. So I don't see an issue with the $25,000 down payment.
I think the whole notion of home ownership is I think it's BS, and it only happens here in America. I think majority of Americans probably shouldn't own homes. I don't
equity on somebody else's property and not your own.
Okay, I knew you're gonna say that, and here's my rebuttal. You pay someone's mortgage every time you buy anything. When you go to the grocery store, you're paying someone's mortgage. When you go to a restaurant, you're paying someone's mortgage. Every money you give someone else, you're paying their mortgage. So why don't
Yeah,
what's wrong with
but you
rent?
should be paying your own mortgage and not
If you
rental.
purchase a home after insurance, taxes, upkeep, you pay triple for its value to say what? I own a home.
And you're putting money into someone else's
And why is
home.
it triple? Why is it triple with your
don't
30-year
own it.
mortgages worth of insurance and taxes and upkeep? It's not triple.
It's not triple. Some rent places are more expensive in mortgage. Why not invest into a property so you can pull equity and invest?
You're not right. You're not right. If you own a home and you pay it to the duration of the loan, you pay triple its value.
You think
and you're not right. You're wrong. You're 100% wrong. It's math.
Do you think most homeowners, when they first time buy, they're spending 30 years in their first time house?
It doesn't matter. You're overpaying for your house. What do you mean?
You're saying that
the banks win. This is about banks. In no other country do private citizens en masse own homes. It's only in America.
No, they buy houses.
Drop the link. I'm gonna need you to put the facts somewhere, because I need to hear that, where they don't own homes in other countries.
Yeah,
I didn't say that. I said in mass. I didn't say they don't. I said in mass. Private citizens don't own the majority of the properties. It does.
Please drop a link for facts, because I never heard that before.
This is my knowledge. That's fine.
Listen. Quentin is right, because 1% of the population owns the overwhelming majority of the real estate, even here in America. That is a fact.
Okay.
That's not even something that we even got to debate or we even got to have a conversation about. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. And it's because they look at it from an investment perspective, but home ownership is not looked at. It's not looked at properly when it comes to people investing, right? And so that's why it will always be that way. If you reset everything today and you start it all over, 1% of the population will own majority of the real estate. And it's because they don't look at home ownership as a vehicle for being rich or generational wealth. Let me tell you something. The whole term of generational wealth is a finesse. It's a finesse. It's a talking point that's used by people that's ultimately going to extract money from you in some type of way that gets you to pay for something that you don't need. It's bullshit. That's number one. Number two, first of all, we have no way to pay for $25,000 for each individual. That's number two. Number three, that's the thing that then causes inflation. Number four, because she don't have no way to pay for it. Number four, it doesn't actually benefit anybody if they was to even get it, or let's just say they causes mass inflation. They print more money. They give you $25,000 per person. The majority of the first-time homeowners is going to be migrants. That's number four. Number five, it actually increases the price of homes, which then artificially inflate the market, which makes it less affordable for you. So you still only be able to probably put like 3.5% down, which then forces you to pay PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, which you pay in the case that you default. And then the true cost of home ownership, you still haven't calculated the cost of property taxes. You still haven't calculated the cost of maintenance. That's not the way that you solve for a housing crisis, is to build 3 million homes, because the government shouldn't be involved in anything as far as the free market and capitalism. And then number two, you can't solve for it by giving and throwing money at the problem. We've seen that play out 1,000 times, and it doesn't work economically. It's one of the dumbest plans that I've ever heard in my entire life. And so Quentin is right about a lot of the things.
Because I just pulled it up. United States is 65% home ownership. Europe is 70%. Asia is 90%. Australia and New Zealand.
Did you hear what I said?
Is 70%. No, he said the majority
you don't
of
own your home unless you pay it off. You don't own your home unless you pay it off.
We're
Listen,
You
not
don't own
doing
your
all
home if
this
you have a
stuff
mortgage.
and
You
not
don't
have
own
no
your home.
facts.
The bank owns your home.
I don't think you
No,
heard what
we
I
know
said.
that, but it's still home ownership. Like we just
No,
like
you're
you don't
not.
own your
No, you're
car.
not,
We
because they can
know
come
over
take
no
that
fine
motherfucker
print.
anytime they want if you got a mortgage on that bitch.
You could do that with anything. Anything you purchase can be repossessed.
Can I ask you something,
Now, if it's
Jamisha,
paid
real
off,
quick? You were saying that, even if it is out of budget for them, you
I
still
never
want.
said that. I never said out of
Okay.
budget.
Okay, well, why would you, want people to pursue a goal of home ownership if we know they financially cannot afford to take care of such
We
an
don't know
asset?
that.
If it was, so we do know that because majority of Americans can't afford it. That's why they have to be
Can you
given this
show me where
incentive.
that's listed as a fact? That's not a fact.
Listen. The facts are you listen. You're not listening to the context.
Okay.
When you state this stuff, you got to go and deep dive into the context. You can say, I'll give you an example, right? I own over 20 properties, but they're all mine. You see what I'm saying? It's a small percentage of the population that owns the overwhelming majority of the properties. That is a fact. And then
Is it BlackRock?
and more importantly, here's the part that they don't tell you, because again, like I participated in banking for a long time. Quentin is right. The banks incentivize y'all to finance y'all homes because ultimately that's how they make money. They make the majority of their money off of interest. If you don't even own the home, or if you're not purchasing the home, because you never own the home, if you're not purchasing a home and you haven't, let's say you get a 30-year mortgage, and if you haven't been into that mortgage and you didn't refinance it over the next 10 to 15 years, the first 10 to 15 years, you're paying pretty much only interest. And so you're depending on the equity of the property in order for you to even have any kind of vested interest in it in the first place. And that's why they say most millionaires are millionaires through their home, but it doesn't actually reflect in their spending habits because they don't have any money. Most people that purchased during the pandemic is house poor. They're broke. They broke in real life. That's the truth. Listen, if you look at the statistics right now, majority of the people, we have repossessions that are up, foreclosures are up, people are getting thrown out of the rentals because they can't even afford that. So if you're saying the pathway to success in this economy is to give people $25,000 in order for them to pretend like they own their homes, I'm telling you that you're wrong. It's wrong. And even after let's say you spend 30 years paying that off. Most people don't, because they all gonna refinance because some guru told you to pull the money out of the house to go and reinvest in it because it's all bullshit. It's dumb, right? Let's say, for example, you pull the money out of the property, or let's say you just hold on to it and you pay it for 30 years. You do realize, let's say I'm 42 right now, for 30 years, by the time I get done paying this off, I'll be 72. I haven't even fully calculated the cost of maintenance, putting a new roof on that bitch. You probably gonna pull money out of it to do that. Probably gonna have to replace the driveway. You're probably gonna have to do the sprinklers. We're not even gonna talk about HOA fees. Property taxes is gonna continue to go up. Over in Cook County in Chicago right now, some property owners are reporting 86% jumps year over year in property taxes. I just got done, and this is the honest to God on my daughter's truth. I just got done buying a bunch of old people's houses that couldn't afford to stay in them for the Oakland County tax auction. I just bought a whole bunch of people's properties that can't even afford to keep their properties because they can't even pay the property taxes, even if they could keep up with the mortgage.
Were they shacks?
No, they wasn't. They phenomenal. Oakland County is the richest county in Michigan.
You know all this is public knowledge. People could look this up, right?
Then look it up. Everything, every other thing of my life, they looked up. They looked up my payments. They looked at my deposits. They looked up. Matter of fact, I could show it to you right now. You ain't even got to do it. I'll show it to you right now. I'll put it on the screen. We don't even have to go through that process. Give me a second. There's no point in even wasting time. I'll pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, ultimately the rich is getting richer because they're able to go to these tax sales, able to go to these foreclosures and scoop in and get these houses.
These foreclosed houses that people own.
This is my account. Don't worry about it. Hold on. Purchase history and receipts. I don't want to say the amount because that's private information. I'm gonna blow it up. Purchase history. Oakland County, right there. 2024 auction, Oakland County. I'll scroll down just so you can see that it's my account. My account, log out, right? I'll even go into some of the properties so you can see what they look like.
Oh, I
We
love the
forgive
receipt.
you.
Thank you.
We forgive you for doubting the receipt king over here.
No,
I have no problem with showing the receipts.
shit. Don't ask forgiveness for me, boo.
I didn't ask, I gave it to you.
No, you didn't. Q Diddy.
So my point is that I just got done buying people's properties that they lost to the county tax auction in general.
But I mean, at the end of the day,
Every day I go and listen
to a platform that
every
does
single property that
recognize the inequities that are already there in the Black and brown community. So you're not going to be able to gather and understand that the $25,000 credit is a betterment for the community. We also can't just sit down here and just be talking like Black folks don't have the ability to purchase houses. They can, but millennials, we have student loan debt. Like we come from that era of student loan debt that holds, like to get masters and doctorate degrees to come out here and get pennies
that's
on
called
a
a
dollar.
self-inflicted wound. You don't
No,
have to have
when we were in high school, when I was in high school, they promoted college. They didn't promote trade school. They say you
They
need to go
promoted
to college.
pointless degrees. Most
So
of
that's
most of
what I
your
went to go
generation
do
has
because I was
pointless
told that I
degrees.
needed to have a degree to go be something or somebody in
Who
this
told
world.
you that? Who told you that?
And this is the
The schools.
Hold on. Who told you that?
The schools.
But what about your
The
parents?
education system.
What about
What
you?
about your
Parents
parents?
too. Parents too.
Okay, well then that means that you need to hold your parents accountable for leading you down the wrong path.
No,
Because
I
see,
don't
I went
need to
to
hold
yeah,
them accountable.
Yeah,
no,
they
don't
should have
blame
paid for it.
wait.
And what is
Don't
your
blame-
degree in?
Don't blame them. My parents told me that it was best to go to community college in order to prevent myself from having student loans and then being entitled to asking the
After
government
you go
to
to
give that.
community college, you want to increase to a bachelor's and a master's.
Correct.
It
So what I
costs you-
did was I limited the amount of money that I paid in credit hours. I transferred over to a major university, but I was intentional. So what I did was I went and worked for a major university that paid for my education and paid for me to actually continue my education
But
to
you
get my
had
bachelor's. And I didn't pick African American studies or basket weaving. I went into a STEM
Nor
field.
did I.
So my point is that I don't have the same self-inflicted wounds, and I'm not going to run in the victim Olympics because that was a choice.
It doesn't make you a victim because it was the path in America is to get an education.
It's not.
I mean, be realistic. Like some of this shit is bullshit that you be talking. Like you're not the only.
What's bullshit?
In America, because you sit up here and don't have a realistic viewpoint on what is going on in America. Now it's our parents' fault that we went to college and we have debt. That's some crackhead shit I ever heard in my life. It's not. No, it's
not.
It is
your parents' fault. It's your fault and your
You
parents'
can't
fault.
blame it on someone else that you got debt.
So you can't go get a regular job with a smegular GED. That's above us. Okay,
Yes,
we don't want no
Hold on.
GEDs. We want diplomas. We need college degrees to get good
I
corporate.
make over
licenses.
$100,000 and I have
Also,
0
if
degrees.
What
you
is that?
don't go on the path
Let her cook.
of going to college, I also support entrepreneurship and getting it in the streets and building your business. But everybody doesn't have that same pathway. But young people, when I was young, millennial, were told you need to go to college to be successful, period. So I guess fuck
I'm a
me
millennial too.
because I made
I'm a
wrong
millennial.
decisions